One of the most challenging things in any environment is managing yourself and everybody else. You have to manage yourself. You have to wake up early. You have to get where you're going on time. You have to know when to leave, know when to speak, know when to be quiet. And so that's a big enough job. But then once you become a leader and a team leader, you have to help manage everyone else. So when people start having meltdowns, you have to say, would you like some water? Is there something I can do? You have to say, oh, I'll make that phone call. You have to be very generous with other people as well. And so it's a big job. So that's the part that it in my industry, it's a moving, there's a moving target. Maybe you're sorted out, but maybe somebody you're working with is completely out of sorts. Or maybe it just starts raining and, the actor's hair is flat when it's supposed to be fluffy. Or maybe the piece of equipment you need is not working. Or maybe, there's a disaster. Or maybe, so I guess what I love and what I find challenging is the moving target part. And that's the part, that's when you get to be your best, but then that's also when you get to be so challenged. And you have to be your best. And sometimes, at the end of the day, you're like, I should have done something different. But then, on your good days, you're like, yeah, I did a good job. Writing, I guess there's sometimes you look at the page and you have to get to sort of a particular end of a story. And you're starting in a particular place and you can't think of how you're going to get from one place to the next. So one of the biggest challenges is when you don't know how it's going to go, and you have to just sort of keep moving through it, even though you can't see how it's going to work out. So that's one of the most challenging bits. But then when you finally succeed, or when you find a way around, that's when you feel like, yeah, I'm doing my job. And with directing, I think one of the most challenging bits is being bigger than yourself. I think with directing, you constantly are in situations where you don't know how it's going to work out. And you have to just use all the tools in your tool chest. You have to use your experts that you've brought in. You have to use advice you have to use good luck. You have to use, you have to pray a bit. You have to use so many tools. And so that's, again, the most challenging is sort of being able to do something when you don't see that you're going to be able to do it. So just being bigger than yourself and being bold when you don't feel especially bold.